One.
What can psychic protection do to help you? Welcome, everyone. My name is Heather Talons. I am an oracle card reader, and this is going to be a topic that you will need to help you remove negative energies.
Hello, I'm Dana. So glad you're here. I'm a psychic here in Ontario. So happy that we're going to be talking about psychic protection. It's so important. But first of all, I would love it if Heather would actually pull her wonderful cards that she does. And yeah, go ahead, Heather. What's the card of the day?
Card of the day, actually two jumped while I was shuffling. And so I pay attention to the cards that jump instead of pulling them myself. So the first card that jumped was letting go. I surrender joyously to the ebbing and flowing of life. So very fitting for what we'll be talking about today. And then the next card that had jumped at the same time, actually, taking action. I enthusiastically embrace life's boundless possibilities. So there we go. I think that once again, very fitting with what you're going to be learning today about psychic protection.
Yes, wonderful. Well, I think psychic protection is probably one of the most important things that we can do for ourselves. Especially if you're an empath and you're opened up to, the frequencies of people around you. I was around a group of people last night and I kind of had to be off to the side, and that's sort of my psychic protection. I couldn't be in the midst of the group because I was, whoa, and I could feel all of their frequencies. And one important thing is that I did not protect myself before everybody came. And I just forgot. It got busy. Everybody was coming in. We were doing things. And I forgot to actually surround myself with this wonderful energy that would protect me from being around a lot of high emotion. And that's what it was last night, a lot of high emotion. So the ways that I can do it, I mean, we want to kind of think of it as a tree. If the roots are strong and the roots are growing in the bottom of the ground, the top of the tree is exposed to the elements, right? It's exposed to storms and things in the trees and bugs and so on and so forth. But if the roots are strong, the top of the tree is going to be fine. So you really want to be grounded. You really want to be centered. You really want to have all of those wonderful things that are attached to it. But if something's attacking the roots, then how is the tree going to be able to withstand the energy and the elements of the world around us? And so if you can think of it in that analogy, it will give you, presence of how to make sure that your roots are strong. And there's so many ways to do that. I mean, psychic protection is, well, I am going to say, especially if you're in the public eye or you're in the public service industry or what have you, you're always exposed to people and people's energy. And there's certain jobs that people are built for. Like I could never work in a psych ward. That would just I would not do well in there because I would just feel the anxiety of everybody. But there's some people who are built for it, and it's very interesting when you talk about these people. But I do feel that when you take care of your health, you take care of your meditation, you sleep, you watch your sugars, you do all of those things, you are going to protect yourself in that way. It's got to be all encompassed, if you can understand what it is that I'm saying there. But grounding yourself, making sure your roots are strong, making sure you know yourself, and also being in the public eye and an empath, you also have to have the courage to be disliked. We're out in the world. We're here on video. There's going to be, hundreds of thousands of people who are going to watch us,
That's right. Yep.
That's right. So, you have to have the courage of being disliked, because not everybody is going to like you. But if you know yourself, if you know who you are, I think it's a very wonderful thing that we need to kind of pay attention to. Oh, we have a message. Madame, please cast a protection for me. cast a protection for yourself. That's the most important thing. So we actually have some comments. And, working with caregiving, and it is overwhelming. Working with people who are not feeling very well is very overwhelming because they're not in the best space. So they're going to be projecting energy to you that is going to come on you. And if you are not solid, grounded, and centered, you are going to feel everything and it's going to affect you. Heather, have you ever had that experience where you're, around somebody, you walk into a room and somebody's in a bad mood and instantly you become in a bad mood, or instantly the kind of anxiety comes up? Have you ever had that experience?
Oh, lots of times. Yes, yes. But more than anything, I somehow learned, I guess I had my bubble of protection. I'll give you a recent example. Last night went out to a restaurant with my husband, and there was this lovely family that bunch of about four little kitties that sat down beside us with their parents. And all of a sudden I could feel the energy of the mother. And it wasn't a happy energy. So I just protected myself in that way, and just I just tried to close off what I was reading from her, and just to send back that, just such a lovely family, such a lovely family. And yeah.
Sorry, honey, I didn't mean to cut you off. Finish that.
No, no, that was it. That was good.
Oh,
Yeah.
so you sending that energy back to her probably changed her frequency. Even if it was slightly changed, you probably changed her frequency and calmed her down a little bit in her cells. When there's negativity coming towards you, you can feel it. It will manifest in your body. It'll give you a headache. It'll do lots of crazy physical things to your body. Not only your body, but your soul, your heart, that kind of thing. So it really is important to understand how to do that. So we have to be very in tune to our imagination. Okay, because it is your imagination that actually creates the frequency that comes about. So I think imagination is the wrong word. And I think they used imagination to make it sort of false, or this is just, out in the world, it's not real, it's imagination. And in actuality, it's very real. Because if you imagine yourself surrounding yourself in a protective bubble, and you put that intention out there, you are actually doing that to your energy. Even if you can't see it or you don't understand it, the imagination itself is creating that shield. So allow your imagination to go wild, allow it to be free, and allow your intentions to go through the imagination. And that way, when you're coming around a lot of people, or even when I'm sitting down to do a psychic reading, when people come to me for a reading, they're not always in the best shape or the best frame of mind. And I understand that I need to be present and do my job, and I can't have their energy affecting how I feel. But quite often before I have a reading, I'll have a headache or I'll have this anxiety, and I'll actually feel people coming towards me to come for a reading, and they're nervous and they're anxious and what have you. And I'm like sitting here going, oh, I feel anxious. I know it's them. It's not me. I've been doing this for 20 years. Of course, I don't get nervous doing a reading, but I can feel their energy coming towards me. So I need to kind of shield myself from that so I can be present and available in the reading. So the way that I do that is with light. I do it with white light. I do it with silver blue light. And I just close my eyes and I picture myself in this wonderful egg of energy. And I change the color for whatever it is that I think I need. So it's really awesome. Oh, we still have questions. I want to talk, but I want to read the questions too. So when you're surrounding yourself in this wonderful energy, and when I say silver blue light, there's this, if you think of what silver blue is in the energy, it acts as a mirror. So anything that's coming towards you is deflected right back to the person, because we really don't actually want to inflict harm on anybody, or we don't want to give anything to anybody that they don't need or they don't want. So when you surround this in a mirror energy, you're actually just deflecting back what they're already feeling in a lot of ways. So you're not actually harming them, but you're protecting you. You can be present, you can talk to them, but their energy is not penetrating your energy then. And that's really important as well. So especially when you're working with people who have high energy or, not the happiest people, it's very important to do that. But what about the people who dislike you? Or what about the people who have a judgment about you? Or what about the people who are out there? Jealousy is a big thing as well. And you will get psychic attacked if somebody is jealous of you in some way. But you'll think of these people and it'll change your frequency in the day, or they'll come into your mind really briefly. What do you think we do in order to send back an energy to somebody? I've had a scenario where somebody was talking about me, telling my story, because I'm very open and I have no problem. I don't carry a persona with me. I try very hard to just be me, and this is who I am. And she was trying to make herself look good, making me look bad in her conversation. And I sent her a telepathic message. And all of a sudden, it was taken down. The whole conversation was taken down. And I'm like, wonderful. That's exactly, I didn't want to give her any real negative energy. I understood where she was. I understood, her intentions and where she was standing. But I didn't want to inflict anything negative on her. I just wanted her to understand what she's doing and what she's bringing to her. And then the very next day, the whole conversation was deleted. And I thought, okay, perfect, wonderful. And then I sent love again. So there is ways that we can do this without feeling so, so hurt or, what have you. Do you ever feel that when people have been judging you and you just take it so personally?
Yes, actually, it did happen. And I did let it crush me for some time. But then I bounced right back, and a prayer came out to them. I sent energy and love. And what the saying was, and it was from the Bible of all places, that forgive them, for they not know not what they do.
It's
And
true.
yeah, and it was just that simple. I was doing something else, and it just came out, and I sent it out to them. And so it was a very healing for myself. And like I say, I moved on and bounced right back, and great things happened, for me, because I went into that place of protection and forgiveness, or forgiveness first and then protection, right?
Well, as they say, forgive the ones who trespass against you. And that's very important to understand. I'm really okay with people who have judgments or opinions or what have you. I mean, I'm on the fringe. I'm a little bit of a weirdo, right? And this is where it is, but I love it and I wear it with a badge of honor. But not everybody can sort of relate to me. And, I'm totally fine with that. It's just something that you have to be okay in your own self to understand what it is. So, Terry, your question was, how do we sorry, I am easily affected by others' energy, and most of us are actually, but some people don't even recognize that they are being affected by other people. They just think there's something going wrong with them. They think there's something going wrong with their energy. They don't feel good, and they don't realize that they were actually taking on somebody else's energy. And then in your own mind, you're thinking, oh, well, this is wrong, and this is wrong, and this is wrong. But you're trying to understand why you feel this way.
Yeah.
Why do I feel this way? Obviously, something's not going right. So then you try to pick apart your own life. When in actuality, you have to sit back and say, is this my energy, or is this somebody else's energy that I come in contact with?
Yeah.
So very important to understand that. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's disconnecting from lower energy is the first thing that we need to do, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. Disconnect from the lower energy and the lower vibrations. raise your vibrations. When people are low around you, you do the exact opposite intention and raise yours. And the way to do that, or the way I do that, there's so many other ways, and meditation is good, but the way I do it is I actually just take my energy bubble and I make the light as big as the room. And if you actually close your eyes and see your energy expanding in the room, you will see the light behind your closed eyes. You will see the light changing in your room. It's quite an amazing, pardon me, quite an amazing experience. And then you just sit there. You sit quietly in that. You sit still for a little bit, and you'll start getting psychic impressions and things like that as well. So it's an important thing. Lower vibrations are those ebbs and flows that we've talked about already. So understanding that people need to be in those lower vibrations in order to do the opposite of being in the higher vibrations, that's really the way to do it. You have to understand it's okay to be in a lower vibration. Just try not to stay there too long.
Right. Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. Good. Yeah. So where should we go now? What do you think we should say? Any more questions? I think it was working with the caregivers and working and how overwhelming that is. Yes. And I would be doing your silver light in your bubble as much as possible.
Right. Yes. And there's some really great psychic protection videos that you can watch online as well. There were a couple that I liked. Am I okay to say the names of?
Absolutely. We'll just put them in the comments below, just so everybody has a resource and can actually, make sure that they can look at it for themselves.
Okay. The one who I read pretty much all of his books is William W. Hewitt. And by that, the publishing house is Llewellyn. I hope I'm saying that correctly. But he has such a simplistic approach to how to learn things. And I really liked how to creating your psychic shield is what, and that's in written form, so that wouldn't be in video form. And then another one is Kyle Gray. I don't know if you've heard of him, but his is Psychic Protection 101. Now, these are very short processes for you to follow, like meditations or so on. And they're very, you feel very cleansed afterwards. That's how I felt, because I did them this morning. So.
Well, and it is really in its simplest form. And I want people to really understand that when you think too much about it, or you try to go too much into it, or you think it's this, magical and in-depth process, we kind of lose sight of the natural process of your psychic energy. Because psychic energy is very natural. It is something that is naturally part of us. And I think if people are getting too in depth, or they're doing too much, then they sort of get lost in it, or I don't have time to do all of these steps. But I can tell you, when people are working in not such a good environment, or they go to work and everybody's stressed out, and you're working with coworkers who are not in the best frame of minds, or it's just a cattiness or whatever it is. Before you go to work in the morning, sitting in your car with your hands on your steering wheel and just taking a few seconds, 30 seconds, so on and so forth, to surround yourself in this protective light, you'll still go to work. People will be who they will, but it won't affect you. It won't touch you. It won't. And that's that silver light again. That's where you're surrounding yourself in that mirrored light. And that's the best part of what it is. It took 30 seconds and you've carried this throughout the day. Sometimes you kind of have to do a bit of a refresher throughout the day or what have you, just to remind yourself. But remember, it is the intention. That's the key right there. The intention is to protect my energy, yet you're present, you can be available. But if somebody's in a bad mood and they're projecting negativity towards you, they walk away and you are perfectly fine because it didn't touch you. And that's what it is. They are who they are, and it's on them to change their vibration, but your vibration was cool. That's what it is. And somebody just said, yes, I work in a snake pit. So Terry, I believe that this is absolutely perfect for you. And if you do this every day and throughout the day, I'm telling you, your day will end differently. You'll come home, you won't feel everybody's energy. Not only that, if you can do that and you can share that energy with other people, just to tell a little story, if I see people fighting or I see that there's some sort of argument that's going on, I actually surround them in a pink silver light, and that's what it is. And I will actually watch their energies drop, and they will move apart from each other. They will actually just kind of, you'll see their energies drop and then they move away. They can't fight in pink light. So if your kids are fighting, if they're like having a bad day and they're fighting, surround them in a bubble of pink light and they won't be doing it anymore. It's almost like they can't. It's like something has been put in front of them that they can't actually carry that energy with them. So it's amazing just in the intention. And I know this sounds so, I don't know, foo-foo and, out there. But I'm telling you, it is that simple.
But try
You
it.
can
That's the thing, right?
absolutely.
Just try it and see what the reaction is. And something that was just coming to mind for me is have fun with this in a good way. That's what I'm talking about. And because what I've done myself when people haven't been kind to me or something like that, I send them love right from the heart center, and I send them love. I call it like a fireball of love. And not that I love what they're doing, but what they need is a psychic hug. Let's just say something along that line, because they're not knowing how to deal with their struggles in their life. So
absolutely. And I think that's a very important thing to really understand, is that you don't know what happened in people's day to make them in the mood that they're in. I think I cut off somebody in a Tim Hortons line one time. I pulled in in front of them, and boy, they were mad at me. They were sending me the worst energy that you could possibly think of. So I bought their coffee.
Yeah,
because they were behind me.
Yes.
Yes. So I bought their coffee, and did it change the vibration? I have no idea. I buy a lot of people's coffee. I don't know why I do that, but I buy a lot of people behind me. I buy them the coffee a lot. But it seems to me that, there is something that you're doing to change the frequency of that energy. And I want to put good things out there. I understand frequency very well. And if I'm putting crap out into the universe, that crap's going to come back and sit right on my face. And I just don't want that. So is it self-preservation? Probably, in a way. I need to be grounded and centered, and I need to be the person who's going to be there to be helpful for people. And if I'm just in a foul mood or something has happened, I'm not available for that. And I just understand who I want to be. And if you can understand who you want to be as your person, then you will understand the energy you want to put out there. I think a lot of times, when you're getting that sort of attack from outside sources, you don't always know where it's coming from. Yeah. But if you can feel it, like sometimes you'll just all of a sudden get a pain. Have you ever experienced that, Heather?
Oh, yes. Yeah.
It just comes out of nowhere, right? And you're like, oh, what's that? Well, sometimes you get a pain in your back. Well, is somebody metaphorically stabbing you in the back and talking about you negatively behind your back? Our bodies do neat things, but could it be energetic? Very well could be. So how do we do things to just sort of move that away? Because a lot of times it doesn't last very long. I'm moving this away. I'm surrounding myself in white light or healing light or whatever it is that I need. You ground yourself, and that's what it's about.
Beautiful.
So, It is beautiful.
It is,
So
yeah.
I'm hoping what we did here, we had some comments. One of my daughters experiences high anxiety. I wonder if I can help her diffuse her panic with intentions as well. Absolutely. You can, for her to understand, anxiety is something that comes from a condition of we're not doing something we know we should be doing. That's where the anxiety is coming from. And most of the time, when we're supposed to do something, we likely don't want to do it. I mean, if you ask anybody, even if you love your job, if you didn't have to do it for money, you probably wouldn't. So, you know, that this is what it is. But if you have this anxiety, a lot of times it's just simply because you are supposed to do something that you don't really want to do. And really, the anxiety will stay with you as long as you are resisting this. So
Right.
your best bet is to walk into the fear, walk into whatever it is or the resistance that you're feeling with anxiety. But you also want to walk in. Most people don't really understand what anxiety is or what that emotion is. They feel like they're just stressed out, and I think they classify it in the wrong way. But from what I understand about anxiety is that it is spirit in the world and the universe trying to get you to move ahead, and we resist that. That's
Right.
why when we have anxiety, we feel like we have cement boots on our feet.
Yes. Actually, I have a story that I could share there. A friend of mine was, just a lot of anxiety going on. And one of them was at nighttime, she would just in fear of falling asleep because she wasn't sure about if everybody locked the back door or this door or that door. So I said, okay, this is what you're to do. Be the last one to go to bed, and make sure you have a routine in place to check all the doors and make sure that they're all locked. Make sure any of the windows that you don't want open on the lower level of the house are closed. And that seemed to help her. She had then developed a routine, and it just gave her, she could then go to sleep a lot easier, knowing what to do. So that's just something.
Peace of mind.
Yeah, peace of mind. That's it.
Peace
Yeah.
of mind. And Bridget, yes, it is about school. It is about avoiding school, and it is about avoiding work. And this is what Bridget is saying. So this is exactly what we were talking about. Unfortunately, there is, it's not unfortunate because I'm saying unfortunately, but it's really not, because once you actually take on the anxiety of what you're feeling, it actually relates and sort of goes as a ripple effect out into the world. And your anxiety tends to be a little bit more controlled over the times. I mean, don't get me wrong, I feel anxiety sometimes too, depending on where I am and what it is. But if you understand the mechanisms that you can use to protect yourself, you must move forward. You must keep going. You must go to school and go to work and do all of those things that you don't really want to do.
Right.
But how do we make it better? How do we make it better in what it is that we don't want to do? Because making it better and just twisting it a little bit, just kind of pivoting just a little bit, will actually get you to the next part. And then you'll sit back and go, well, that really wasn't so bad. No, was it? And look at what happened. Every time I leave my house to come traveling, I feel anxiety. There's something about it, but I make sure I do it. And I know what it is that I'm feeling. I know what I'm experiencing. And I know I even sometimes think about backing out. And I don't, because I know what it is. This is just built in the mind. It's not something that's actually really what's happening. And of course, I get here and it's safe and sound, and I have the most wonderful time. And that's what I know as well. And I meet great, wonderful people. I actually met a new guest for the show last night. So that's going to be amazing. So, and it's funny what happens and what you come across. So, we're exactly where we're supposed to be when we're there.
Yes, yes. And it's finding answers, right? Finding answers on how to relieve the struggles that we're going through. And again, that's what this show is all about. And meditation has helped me so much. I've been focusing on it for the past year, and it really, really does help me move forward in the day and feel good about myself. And then from there, feeling good about myself, I'm able to help others feel good about themselves. So
That's what it's about, to be in service. That's who we are. We are in service. And sitting here doing this video, and our intentions, we have very clear intentions on what we're doing here. And when we're creating these videos and guests that are coming on, we're in service. And that in a sense can bring anxiety as well, because once it's out live on YouTube, it's out there for life. So there is a little bit of a vulnerability when you're taking on a project like this. But honestly, it's probably it's one of my favorite things that we're doing right now. I get so excited about doing it, and I'm always ready. I'm up, I'm ready to go. Let's go. Yeah, I think we've talked enough about this, and we're coming on to the half an hour. Thank you, everybody, for commenting and watching us. And please come back. We're going to be here every morning next week as well. And we're going to have some great, interesting guests. Of course, Paul will be coming back on Thursday, but we also have some other guests coming and other topics coming. And metaphysics is something we can talk about until the cows come home. So we're always going to have great conversations.
yes, and so just make sure that you subscribe and click on the little bell beside, and then you'll be notified when our show is coming on live.
That's fantastic. Wonderful. Heather, I hope you have a beautiful day. Hope everybody who has watched this wonderful podcast has a beautiful day as well. And until next time. Bye now.
Bye.